Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Avinash, and before we continue this tutorial, I want to let you know that I have created my WhatsApp channel to let you know whenever I upload any videos on my channel, because sometimes YouTube doesn't send you notification and you think that I am not updated on my channel. I don't upload any videos in a regular basis on my channel. For the sake of simplicity, please go and join that channel. It's important. Now let's continue to this video. We are going to make a separate module for our networking, because whenever you work any production ready application, what they do is they make everything in a separate module, okay, like we are going to do for the networking. Because first things, it's going to be a very handy. You can use that module for multiple reasons. Okay, suppose if you need this module for another project, what you need is simply import that module and you are ready to go. So for the sake of simplicity, we are going to make this thing. So let's start. So to make a module, go to file and new, and now you need to choose this new module, and we are going to create a library for our networking. So I'm going to give the name of my library is networking, and everything leave everything as it is. Okay, and now press finish add. Okay, wait for a minute, it will create our module. So if you are new on my channel, please hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you never miss any update from my channel. Also, it is mandatory to join my WhatsApp group, because I will let you know every update from my side on that channel. Now let's copy all the dependency from my main module. So I need this retrofit and the JSON library. So let's cut it inside my networking module. And one more thing, I also need this dagger. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. And one more thing, we need to copy this plugin and the kept one. So copy this and paste it here. And yeah, we are now ready to go. We just need to sync the project and we are ready to go. So let's do it. Okay, so we have synced the library and all the dependency got imported, means included inside the networking module. So now let's cut all this code inside this and let's refactor it. Okay, now the only thing is we are not going to move this DI section, and we are going to move this inside the furniture app folder. Okay, so this is our main application class, and now let's come here and let's see if any error occurs. So no, everything okay. So I created these things inside my previous tutorials maybe. So I have created a separate API for everything, and everything is new here. So let's do it from scratch. Okay, so we are not going to do all these things from scratch. We are just going to make this Pojo class again. And yeah, this is our generic class, as you already know, and this is our generic function which is responsible to handle all our networking operations, and all these things I have explained in my previous video. So if you have not watched that video, please go and watch and then continue with this video. Let's make our repository first, and we have already created the instance, the model and the util part, and now let's create the repository. So just right click here and select package, and here I am going to create repository repo, and we are going to create a separate repository for every module. So right click here and let's select Kotlin, and for now I am going to create onboarding repository. Okay, and it will be going to a class. Select that, and now I am going to create a constructor and now inject it. If you have not watched all this video, please go and watch my previous video, then it will make more sense. And now I am going to create a private well to access my API service. Okay, so as you can see here, and same like that, I am going to create a repository for my home page and also for detail page, because I will let you know all these things later. Okay, so don't worry about that, just create home repo. This will also going to be a class, create constructor @inject. Okay, and also this will be going to be API service and private well and product details. we are also going to create constructor for that, and here private val API service. Okay, so we are going to do all our onboarding operation inside this class, and also we are going to all our homepage related APIs and every stuff here and product detail stuff here. And now I'm going to open my local host server first, which I have created for my, and now I'm going to open my MongoDB server. Let's connect it, and it's got connected. As you can see here, we have three or four categories. This is a slider. This means this is the onboarding sliders, and this is the product model, and this is our category. Okay, and we are also going to create a separate module for admin, and with that admin can add more product inside our application behind the scene. So let's start our server. I'm going to open my Postman. So I'm going to close everything. Okay, now let's make a request. First of all, I need this. Now let's fetch our onboarding data. So let me open my routes first. Okay, so this is our slider data, means the onboarding data. And now let's copy this, and we are going to fetch the slider data first here. So as you can see here, we have two data inside our slider. So let's consume this response. Okay, so first of all, we need to copy this and set it inside our, since I am using my localhost server, so I need to use that base URL. And if you have already hosted your server, then you don't need to do all these things. Okay, you can directly hit your API. Since I don't have that much budget, that's why I am using that this way. Okay, so this will be going to be, and since we are doing with Ketor, so Ketor simplify all the things. Suppose means we don't need to create endpoint for every request. It's depend upon this request. Okay, suppose I try to do post request, then it will know that we are trying to do post request. If we hit our API for getting data, and this will know we want to get the data, so this will deal accordingly. So I want to get the data, I don't want to post. This post request is for admin, so we just need to get it. So what I can do is I can use this endpoint for everything. If I need to post any data, I don't need to make a separate endpoint for every URI. So it's very simple. Okay, and Ketor will simplify everything. And also we need to make a Pojo class for this thing. So let's make this. I'm going to create a model here, model package here. We are going to use this plugin, and here onboarding model. Okay, and let's generate it, and it will generate the Pojo class for us. And now we can directly consume that Pojo class here. Okay, so onboarding model, onboarding. Now we are ready to go. Okay, so let's call this API service inside our onboarding repository. As I told you, we are going to create a separate repository for everything. We have created for onboarding, I have created for home, and also created our product detail. And we are going to keep all function related to our need. Okay, so suppose if any function needed to be inside our home repository, then we are going to keep that function inside the home repository. I hope you got the point. Okay, let's consume the API function here. So I'm going to create a suspended function. Okay, and get onboarding data. Okay, and with context dispatchers.io. No, we can't do it like that. We already have this result. Okay, and now we can directly pass our get onboarding response. Since this is the generic function, so I have make this for handling all kind of states. Okay, and I don't need to explain this because I have already explained in my previous videos. So go and watch that video. And now let me close everything. Now we are ready to go. So now let's consume these things inside our main app. Okay, for the user. Let's come here, and inside the onboarding part we have this fragment. As you can see here, we have our view model. So now what we are going to do here is, let's remove it from here and onboarding repo. So let me go here, let me check this where it is. So I'm going to delete this repository from here because we don't need it. And now we are going to add this module inside our main module. Okay. So for that, what you can do it manually, or this is the simple way. What you can do here is onboarding repo and hit Alt Enter, and this will know that this class is present inside our networking module. So it will suggest you that add the dependency module. Okay, so simply click on that, and this will import that module inside our main project, and now we can import it, and just we can do it like that. Yeah, we are ready to go. So since we are not getting the status here, so what we can do here is just simply remove that, and let me modify our response here. So if it dot data dot success, if it's successful, then we can consume our response, else deal with accordingly. So now let's cut this thing inside here. Let's remove this, and what we need to do here is, let me first comment this part. Okay, it's not. We have ID, image, subtitle, and everything. So we are going to bind our data accordingly. Okay, so let's do it. So let's copy this, and I'm going to uncomment all this stuff, and we have our it's dot title, and we need to set our image here. So it's dot image, and now it's dot, so this is called description. Yeah, and now we don't need all this, to simply remove all the, yeah, and now we are ready to go. So we don't need to worry about anything now. And we have as you can see here, we have separate all the networking module. So whenever you need to do any changes inside your application related to networking, what you do is you come in your networking module, and inside that you have your every stuff. Okay, so you can manage it from here. You don't need to mess up with here. Means your main module. Okay, so now means we have consumed our response successfully inside our onboarding, and as you already know, we have said everything inside our previous tutorials, so we don't need to bind anything. Okay, now let's consume our home response. Okay, so let me open my, okay, and let's make another request. So we need to fetch our home data. So we have routes here for home data, and let's copy this route, and here I just need to hit, and as you can see here, we have our home data. Now let's make a Pojo class for that too. So we are going to make a Pojo class here inside our networking module, and inside the repository we have our model, and inside that what we can do here is we can again use that tool and home response, home model, whatever you want, you can give the name of that model. And yeah, as you can see here, we have successfully created. Now we are ready to go. Okay, so as like onboarding, we can consume our response inside this home repository. Okay, so since we are also going to get the data from our repository, means sorry, our server, so I need to make another function here. This will also going to be a suspended function, get home data. Okay, and we are going to make a response here, home model. Okay, and also we are going to make get request, and we need to give our home data here. Okay, and yeah, we are ready to go now. So we just need to call this inside our repository. So let's do it. So suspended fun and get home data equals to APIs. We are going to use this result function again here, API dot get home data, and yeah, it's simple. It's look like very simple, because that's why I made an extension function for that. Okay, because it will take care everything. Means if we get any error, anything, it will handle everything behind the scene. Dot flow on dispatcher dot IO, dispatchers dot IO. This will what this do is this will this will run every operation in the background thread. Okay. Now let's consume this response inside our home page. So as you can see here, we have home model, and now let's, as you know already, we have already imported our module inside our main project. So let's get our home repository, home repository, and let's consume our home response. So let me first have a look what architecture we are following here. Okay, so go to home view model. I need to make a function here, get a home data, and this will be going to be run in the scope of view model scope dot launch, and now repository dot get home data that collect latest when 8th, and inside that since we are using a shield class here, so inside from that shield class we will got this 3 state successful and the error one. Okay, so here you can show any progress dialog. Okay, and if any error occurs, you can show toast message too from here. If you got response successfully, then you can deal that thing here. Okay, so now let's log our response. Okay, so is hit dot data dot successful. So let's delete it here. Okay, so now let's log the response. Okay, so it dot data. Okay, and since this is coming in an array, so yeah, and now we just need to call this function inside our home page. So let's do it as well. So we have here home page. Now let's create an instance of view model here. So I'm going to create a private view model and home view model by view model. Okay, now let's make another function, and I'm going to convert this into data binding layout. Okay, and let's set up our layout accordingly for data binding. So just give me a second. Let me first create a let init var, means a variable for our layout, fragment home binding, home page binding. And now let's bind this with our inflator binding equals to, and we need to import this class here. And now let's return, since it's required, means the return type of that function is view, so we need to return the view. So we can get the view from the binding dot root. You can see here. So error has been gone, and we need to override one more function here on view created. Okay, and now let's call our function. This way I optimize or organize my code. Okay, so it's my way, and if you wish, you can follow me, or you can create your own way to initialize, or because these things make things very clear. Okay, whenever I need to use this function, what I do is I simply make an instance for home page, and I can directly call that method from anywhere from my application. That's why I do it like that. So I'm going to init data, and this will be going to run on our main thread dot launch, and now I'm going to call my view model dot get home data. Okay, so for now we are going to we need to call our get home data function here, and we are ready to go. Okay, so now let's call that function from my on view created method. Okay, and whenever you view got created, this function got called, and this is and this will call our repository function, and that will fetch the data from our server. Okay, so yeah, now let's run this code, and we'll see if it's working or not. So guys, as you can see here, our application is open and running. Now let's check our response if we got or not. Okay, so as you can see here, we did not got our response here. So let's check it why we did not got our response. So I have already used that attribute use clear text traffic, because we are not using HTTPS, and if you don't use HTTPS, then you need to tell our system with that annotation that we are not using HTTPS here. So this will allow to hit any API. Okay, and let me check my server here. So let's go back and let me check it again. Okay, so I got the problem. We cannot use this IP address inside our application. So I need to use my real IP address to get the response. Okay, so let me set it first. Okay, so as you can see here, we got the response. Whenever you run your local host server, what you need to do is you need to follow this architecture. Suppose I'm running my local host server on 8080 port. So I need to add my IP address here. Suppose my IP address is 10.0.0.52. Sorry, .52. So I need to do it like that. Okay, I hope you got the idea. That's why we are not getting our response. And if I change it, I successfully got the response. Okay, so this will also going to be a slider. Okay, so now let's get started here. Means if you click getting started here, and if you will check, as you can see here, we got our response here. Okay, as you can see. Okay, so that's it for this video. This video already got very long, and in our next video we will set up our home page. Also we will add slider inside our onboarding page, and we are getting data in array, as you can see here. So we will make our home page slidable. Sorry, our onboarding page slidable. So we can set this object on that. Okay, and also we will fetch our data from as you can see that we have already fetched our home data, and we will set it, means we will consume that data for our home page and make a beautiful recycler view and a beautiful UI. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know my English is very bad, but I will try to make improvement as I can, and I know I can. Okay, so that's why keep supporting. And again, I have created a WhatsApp channel, and please join that WhatsApp channel. That will be very easy for me to notify you whenever I upload my video. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye.